नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Madhurya Kadambini series, Monday to Friday. We'll begin again with our class by reciting the first two Mangalacharan verses. Ridva prenava bhakti shasya vitate sanjeevani swagama rambe kamatapatarudaha damani vishwapagullasini धूरान् मे मरुशाकिनोऽपि सरसि भावाय भूयात् प्रभु श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्यकादम्बिनी श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्यकादम्बिनी श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्यकादम्बिनी भक्तिपूर्वेषितां तं तु रसं पश्यत्तदे तं नौमि सततं रूपं नाम प्रियजनं हरे. So yesterday, if you remember, we were discussing after Vishnu Chakra Thakur has proved the complete independence of bhakti, that even the Lord cannot initiate that bhakti, who is like the super soul in the heart. It begins from that Madhyamadikari. The mercy is bestowed by the Madhyamadikari. Of course, everything, that mercy also is coming from bhakti, and the bhakti is also coming because he has bhakti for the Lord. In one sense, everything is the property of the Lord. But, that inspiration to give bhakti, or the initiation to give that bhakti, the Lord has no role to play in it. It is ultimately the free will of that devotee. Yadrichaya, So there he completes the whole logical discussion and concludes that bhakti comes from the. Now further, he is hammering this point, how bhakti is completely independent and pure, and it doesn't even need any assistance of karma or jnana. On the other hand, karma, jnana or yoga cannot give the results without bhakti being present, without the element of bhakti. So that is the point. Yesterday we started discussing, and two verses he quotes: Shreya Shrutim Bhaktim Udasyate Vibho Ko Artha Apta Bhajatam Swadharmatarte, and then Purve Bhuman Bhavopi Yogina. So we were seeing these verses. So yesterday we saw these first verse, By these verses, it is seen that the accomplishment of results on the paths of Gyan, Karma, and Yoga completely dependent on Bhakti. So this is the supreme independence of Bhakti. So we discussed yesterday, if you remember, there are 4 types of Jnanis which Vishwanath Chakra Thakur discusses in the Purport to Bhagavad Gita 18.55. One Jnani who exclusively practices Jnana with no Bhakti element, he doesn't get the result at all of liberation. And then there is another Jnani who practices Gyan with Bhakti mixture, but considers the form of the Lord as material, you know. And then he actually commits an offense to the Lord's lotus feet. Hmm? Oh. What? He patanti the anadrita yushmadangriya. Anadrita yushmadangriya means he commits offense. So that's why patanti other. He also doesn't attain the result of liberation. Then there is a Jnani who practices bhakti and considers uh, the Lord's form as Satchidananda. He attains liberation. And then there is a Jnani who attains the association of a sadhu and he gets bhakti and prema. So Shreya Shritim Bhakti Udasyatevavo Krishanti Ye Kevala Bodhalabdha. Kevala Bodhalabdha means what does it here mean? Kevala Bodhalabdha? Anyone? Anyone? Kevala Bodhalabdha. What does it mean now? Based on this explanation, what we had now, what it means? It's very clear now. We had this explanation quite in detail yesterday. What does Kevala Bodhalabdaya means? He doesn't get any result. So, which kind of Jnani it is referring to? Yes, dear Krishnaji. Yes, I want you to do.
Keval both Labdai means he achieves liberation, I guess.
He achieves liberation.
Keval both Labdai. He
Navneet Kalra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
There is no bhakti and there is no liberation. He's only engaged in speculative knowledge.
He doesn't klesha eva shishyati. He will only get klesha. And just like beating a husk, you don't get anything. So that refers to which categories of Jnanis here? 1, 2, 3, 4 among the 4 types.
First
And even second.
second.
Yes, even second. So this is the first quotation he gives, and then he quotes this famous from the Narada Vyasamvat. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam hare bhajan apakvata pate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadramudyam hovartapto bhajatam swadharmata. If a person having given up his duties in varnashram, tyaktva swadharmam, that means he gives up sarvadharman paritaja and begins the worship of the Lord's lotus feet, Harer Charambuja Bhajan, and happens to deviate or not reach perfection. Apakko va ata pate tato yadi. Yadi means, if it happens like that, then there is no misfortune from him at all in the future. Amushya kim va abhadram abhut. There will be absolutely no misfortune for him. Why? Because if he doesn't attain perfection, then ultimately, because of his practice of bhakti, he'll again take a birth in a righteous and a devotee's family and continues bhakti. His bhakti is not lost. Bhakti is eternal. Bhakti is spiritual. It is never lost. Whereas karma, whatever he performs, punya, he might get swarga. But enjoying the fruits of that karma, shine punne, the punya will become shina and patanti other, he falls down. But this devotee who has practiced bhakti, if he goes to Swarga, he enjoys the benefits of staying in Swarga, but his bhakti credits don't get depleted. From there, he further, makes further progress and can go to the higher realms, or he can come back here and take birth that the Lord decides what is best for his practice. But his enjoyment, even in Swarga, is not by the results of his punya karma, but it is because of bhakti. So there is a subtle difference you have to understand. There's no more misfortune for him at all in the future. But God does. Ka va artha. The person who follows all duties of varnashram, but does not worship the Lord. Abhajatam swadharmata gain aptaha. What does he gain? He doesn't gain anything. So this text, previous text mentioned, the previous verse quoted here mentions, that is, second, yeah, there is jnana, that is jnana without devotion. So there is no result. So here in this verse, oh, just 1 second. Yeah. And here in this verse, he is practicing karma, no devotion. Ultimately, it has no result. Karma cannot give the result of Swarga. Please remember that. If the karma is having an element of devotion, then the result of Swarga is there. So, if he doesn't practice karma, plus he only practices bhakti, it can give him the result of Swarga. If he doesn't practice also karma, just by practicing only bhakti. But if he practices karma with no bhakti, then no Swarga. So, karma cannot give results without any devotion. So that's why he's saying, ko va artha abhajatam sudharmata, what he gains. So ultimately, the uselessness of karma without devotion is mentioned. So that ultimately, it is devotion which gives life to karma or bhakti, jnana. Without bhakti, karma, jnana, and yoga are useless. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, this text says how useless practicing karma without devotion is. Karmis are also, others also dependent on bhakti. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Chari varnashram yadi Krishna nahi bhaje, swadharma karoyo, raurava pade maje. Very heavy statement, huh? If persons follow varnashram, do not render service to the Lord. Krishna nahi yadi bhaje, they fall into hellish conditions, even though they are following activities prescribed by the Vedas. Swadharma kara raurava pade maje, even if they do that. And the third verse he quotes is this: Ureha bhuman bahopi yoginas tvad arpitaha nija karma labdaya vibhudya bhakteva katopanitaya prapeder anjo achut te gatim param. O Almighty Lord, woman, in the past, Pura, many yogis, Bahoapi Yogina, in this world, Iha, achieved the platform of devotional service, Labdaya, by offering all their endeavors unto you. Tvad arpita iha. So, these yogis also were practicing It's a very important point here in this verse to understand that this yoga is also with bhakti because arpita is there. Arpita. Arpita means, it's yoga mishra bhakti, you can say. Yoga mishra bhakti. So by this, what happened? And faithfully carry out their prescribed duties, nija karma. So there was also karma. We can say it is karma, yoga, mishra bhakti. Through such devotional service, bhaktya eva. Now you can see now, this verse is saying bhaktya eva, perfected by the process of hearing and chanting about you. Katha upanitaya. They came to understand you, Vibhudya. So they did not understand God by yoga or karma, but by bhakti of hearing and chanting. O infallible one, Achyuta, and could easily surrender to you and achieve your supreme abode. Anjate param gatim prapitare. So to attain the Lord, ultimately, one has to practice bhakti. Hmm. So if they have to attain perfection, then they have to practice bhakti. Even the Jnana Mishra Bhaktyas have to practice bhakti as an element so that they can attain, Shantarati. That's the point. Now, further, the glory of bhakti is what? Bhakti doesn't need even Jnana and Vairagya, which are the limbs of, Jnana Marga and Ashtanga Marga. Na Jnanam, na cha Vairagyam, praya shreyo bhavet iha. Bhagavad Puran 11, 20, 31. And then Iti dharman santajya ye sarvan ma bhajet satu saptama. Bhagavad Puran 11, 11, 32. So rather the Lord declares, Pratyutta, actually the Lord declares that Tasman mad bhakti yuktasya yogino vai madatmaka na jnanam na cha vairagyam praya shreyo bhavetiha. Therefore, Tasmat, for a devotee engaged in my loving service, yogino mad bhakta yuktasya, with mind fixed on me, mad atmana, the cultivation of knowledge and renunciation. Jnanam cha vairagyam cha is generally not, na praya, the means of achieving the highest perfection within this world. Shreyo bhavet iha. So, generally, yesterday also that the conditioned mind has amazing potency of something which is pure bhakti. We feel that no, we need to add something in order for our bhakti to get perfected or to get the results. Generally, we feel like that. So, just a second. Oh, just a second. System is not working. Just a minute. Huh? My mouse somehow is it's not working. I don't know what is the reason. Oh, hmm. Oh, it's because of maybe virus, I think. Oh, what's happening? Man? Yeah. Oh. This song. Just give me a minute, please. Oh, okay, okay, got it. Got it. Just a minute. There was some. The point what we are trying to make is that ultimately the yogi also has to practice bhakti in order to know the Lord. And he perfects the process by only hearing and chanting. Ultimately, yeah, this verse. Ultimately, there is yoga and there is karma, there is bhakti, and then there is, say, liberation, or there is shantarati, attaining shantarati. So he practices yoga and karma and an element of bhakti. But then ultimately he has to give up and that bhakti element which is there, by that he will attain liberation or shantarati. Even the jnani at the end has to give up the jnana process and bhakti which is there, you know, he has to practice both in order to attain liberation. But ultimately, at the end, the bhakti element which is there by which he'll attain liberation. Bhakti takes a secondary role here, please remember. And he has to give up this. Jnanam cha mai sannyasat, Krishna says in the, ultimately he has to give. Because this jnana is sattva. And the Lord is completely spiritual and transcendental. And bhakti is spiritual. By that element of bhakti, he'll attain liberation. So this is the point also made in this verse that, that they perfected the process by hearing and chanting. And by that they were able to know you. And then by that they attained your abode. So it is. So in the next verse, what it is said? That even Jnana and Vairagya, which are limbs of Ashtanga and Jnana Yoga, even that, is, for a devotee not required. So sometimes we feel that maybe I should practice a little renunciation in order to, make my bhakti strong or attain perfection in bhakti. So this Vairagya Prayas is very subtle. And we might think that let me practice a little austerities or do a little Vairagya. So this is a little subtle. And, sometimes they quote Raghunath Das Goswami. Oh, Raghunath Das Goswami, in once in 3 days, he was, having a handful of buttermilk. So let me practice renunciation like Raghunath Das Goswami and then bhakti will manifest. No, that's a misunderstanding. Raghunath Das Goswami's renunciation was a byproduct of bhakti. It was a byproduct of bhakti. And here Gyan refers to that which leads to impersonal liberation. So na Gyanam cha vara. Praya Shreyo Bhavetya. Praya has been used, the word Praya. Praya here means that, what is it? Generally. So generally in the beginning stages of bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya maybe have a little role just to enter into bhakti. But then they are not the limbs of bhakti. So Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, after describing the 64 limbs of bhakti, then he discusses in detail how Varnashram is not a limb of bhakti. And then how Jnana and Vairagya are also not the limbs of bhakti. So here, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, though a devotee does not desire Jnana and Vairagya, they automatically follow him. So Gyan and Vairagya, byproducts of bhakti. Gyan Vairagadi bhaktera kabhi nahi anga. Ahimsa yama niyamadi bhule Krishna bhakta sangaya. Intellectual spiritual realization and renunciation are not parts of devotion. Nahi kabu anga. Kabu nahi anga. Yet good qualities like control of the senses, yama, ahimsa, penance, austerities, niyamadi accompany Krishna's devotees, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then there is this famous verse, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahetukam. So by the practice of bhakti, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, then what happens? Jnana and Vairagya. So Jnana and Vairagya are byproducts of bhakti. You know? So one need not practice Jnana and Vairagya. So Sri Vishwanath Thakur on this commentary on the shlok, he says, Jnana Vairagartam pratak yatna bhaktir na kartavya iti bhava. For when engaged in pure devotion, there is no need at all for the separate efforts of Jnana and Vairagya. Rather, the instructions are to practice bhakti while completely giving up varnashram dharma. So this is the point. Now the last verse which Vishwanath Thakur quotes is this one. Ajnaneva gunan doshan mayadishtan api swakan dharman santajaya sarvan mam bhajet sacha sattama. He perfectly understands Agyaya, that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in the Vedic scriptures, Maya Adishtan, possess favorable qualities that purify the performer. That is the Varnashram. And he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Gunan doshan, if he gives up, his Varnashram duties and there will be dosha. Having taken complete shelter of my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religion. Dharman santeja yasarman and worships me alone, ma bhajeta. He is thus considered the best among all living entities. Such a sattama. So this is very similar to, as I mentioned yesterday, sarvadharman parityaja. Sarvaparnam parityaja. So, Srila Jiva Goswami mentions that actually Bhakti Devi cannot tolerate, you know, cannot tolerate any other contamination in the pure devotional service. She cannot tolerate. Bhakti Devi cannot tolerate. But Bhakti doesn't need the help of karma and jnana or yoga, to give its result prima. Whereas the paths of jnana, karma, and yoga, even though they struggle very hard, bhakti has to take a secondary role there in order to give the results. So that will come to again quite in detail. Vishwanath Thakur makes that point. Ityadibhis tasya sarvata sarvatananyapekshitvam kim vaktavyam tesham eva jnana karma yogadinam prati swakeshu faleshu api kadachit atmana sadhyamaneshu na tad gandapekshitvam api. The dependency of karma, jnana and yoga on bhakti must be accepted as a fact. So karma, jnana and yoga are dependent on bhakti. Bhakti is essential in giving the results. Bhakti is essential in giving the results to the practice of karma, jnana and yoga. But bhakti itself is not at all even the least contingent on these practices or its results. So bhakti doesn't depend on karma, jnana and yoga to give its results of prema. Gandha pekshatam api, it is mentioned. And then to prove this, now he quotes Yaduktam. Yat karma bir yat tapasa jnana vairagayascha yat yogena dana dharmena shreyo bir itererapi sarvam mad bhakti yogena mad bhakto labate anjasa Swargapavargam madhama kadachit yadi vanchati. What is accomplished by karma, tapas, jnana, and vairagya is easily attained by my devotee through devotional service alone. So one need not, the one practices karma. This is a little interesting. One practices karma to attain swarga. And one practices jnana or ashtanga to attain apavarga, that is liberation. Apavarga. Now, can bhakti without practice of karma, jnana or yoga give swarga, apavarga? Can it give? What is your thoughts on this? Can it give? What do you think? Anyone? Can it give? Sunita Mataji? Sunita Mataji, yes. Are you there with us? Subha Ikshan Krish Prabhuji, yes.
If you can just repeat once again so that I can recollect. I'm thinking about it, but that will help.
I made it very clear, but I will make it clear. Karma yoga is practiced to attain swarga. Jnana yoga or Ashtanga yoga is practiced to attain apavarga, that is liberation. So can bhakti give swarga and apavarga or no?
Prabhu, bhakti includes everything. So it is all inclusive. So definitely, if the devotee desires like that, it can give, but it can give much higher planets and for Vrindavan.
Bhakti ultimately gives what? The highest, that is madhama. It can give, one second. Somehow today the pen is really cooperating with me. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I need to little set it, I think that's why. Where is it? It's here. Okay. So it gives prema. It gives prema. And it gives the highest result, that is the Lord's abode. So it can give the highest result, the Lord's abode, then it can give apavarga also and swarga also. But karma actually cannot give swarga, for your kind information. Karma with the element of bhakti only can give you swarga. And jnana and ashtanga with the element of only bhakti can give you apavarga. So that's why this verse is saying, what is the need for karma, tapasa, jnana, vairagya, yogena, dana, dharmesh, all this. Sarvam mad bhakti yogena. Mad bhakto labate anjasa. Swargam, apavargam, mad dhamam. Kadachit yadi vanchati. If he at all desires like that. Kadachit yadi vanchati. It's saying kadachit. So, although the pure devotee doesn't desire, but if he desires, and the devotee will desire also because he has to accomplish maybe the Lord's mission there. That's all. If he desires like that, then so Chitraketu Maharaj was preaching in the Gandharva Loka there. Sometimes the jivas the pure devotees might take compassion on those who are in Brahma Jyoti and go there to preach because it's very difficult to preach them. Like, trying to go to the poshest place in Bombay, like, Nariman Point, where all the richest people are there. They are enjoying, high level of material happiness. For them to understand that you're suffering, take up to bhakti, it's very difficult. So like that. Madhama, if there is service like that. And then, if there is no bhakti, then it is what? It is like a dead body. Bhagavad bhakti hinasya jati shastram japastapa aprana seva dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. Hari Bhakti Suhoday. It are there Vaifalyaeva Syaditi. Without devotion to the Lord, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya, good birth, knowledge of scripture, japa, tapa, are like delighting Lokaranjanam in the decoration of a dead body. Apranesa Dehasya Mandanam. Thus, without bhakti, all those endeavors become fruitless. All those endeavors become fruitless. So just like a dead body is dependent, tasya parama mahatya adinatvam tesham samprana e vastam. As the body depends on the presence of the soul, the very life of Gyan, Karma and Yoga depends upon supremely exalted Bhakti Devi. Because the body is dependent on the soul, similarly, the other practices like japa, dhyana, vairagya are dependent on the presence of Bhakti Devi. If there is no presence of Bhakti Devi, then no results. It's as good as decorating a dead body. Apitu karma yogasya kala desha patra dravya anushtana shuddha adi apeksha sa tat smriti prasiddheva asya tu na tatha. The dependence of karma, jnana and yoga on conditions of purity in time, place, candidate, materials and performance is well known from the Smriti scriptures. Smriti prasiddheva. That this is not true for bhakti. Asya tu na tatha. So karma, jnana and yoga, you have to perform in a particular place a yajna. Then there is time, Jyotish. By Jyotish time, and the candidate should have patra. The ingredient should be pure. The performance has to be pure as per the scriptures. If there is any fault, then either no result or opposite result. But bhakti doesn't have. So bhakti is not dependent on time, space, candidate. Anyone can, for practicing karma, you need adhikar. You have to be in the varnashram. For practicing yoga and ashtanga, you need adhikar. You should have purified by your heart by performing nishkam karma yoga. But bhakti, even the pullindas, yavanas, just by coming in touch with a pure devotee, he bestows his kripa, he can take up to bhakti without any previous adhikar. So he quotes this. I'll read this. Na desha nimastatra, na kala nirnayastata, no chishtado nishedosti, Shri Hare Namni Lubdake. In chanting the name of the Lord, Shri Hare Namna Lubdake, there is no restriction concerning place, na desha niyamastatra, or time, na kala nirnayastata, or restrictions on performance because of impurity, na uchishta ado nishedasti. Like somebody leaves in our family, the world, 10, 15 days, we cannot perform our regular duties, so because of impurity. But you can chant the holy names. Even if all your family members also leave, also still you can continue to chant. So like that, this is the purity of bhakti. And then what to speak? Now he makes a still heavier statement. Chasya prasiddha sapekshatam apina. Nor is bhakti even dependent on faith. This is really very heavy. No. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, one after another, he's making such stronger and heavier statements that bhakti doesn't even depend on what? Even if you don't have faith, still bhakti can bestow results of liberation. And he quotes this famous Padma Puran from the Vyasa Padyavalya. Sakrad api parigitam Shraddhaya helayava Bhruguvarya naramatram dharate Krishna nama. O best of the Bhrugus, Bhruguvarya, if anyone chants Lord Krishna's name even once unreservedly, Sakrad api parigitam. whether in a derisive mood, Shraddhaya, or with proper faith, Helaya. Helaya means derisive mood. The holy name will certainly award him liberation. Naramatram tarate Krishnama. And the classic example is Ajamil. Did Ajamil chant the name of Narayan having the faith that, I'm calling Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha? He did not have faith. But still, he got liberation by that Namavas chanting. So it doesn't depend even on faith. Bhakti is completely swarat, independent. This is the nature of pure devotion. So, Sanatan Goswami, to the commentary to this in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, he quotes this and he says, Yada kadachit sakritat kirtanad apyanu sangit tatve sarvasyapi moksha bhavet evetyah sakrit apiti pari परित्यार्धे अव्यक्तम असंपूर्णम उच्चारितम apyartah. No, actually, this is not like a shloka. I should have not recited. Yada kadachit sakrit tat kirtanat apya anu sangitvena sarvasyapi moksha bhavet evetyaha sakrit apeti. The main fruit of chanting Hari name is divine prema. Chanting Krishna's name even once by any means can give liberation, which is only its secondary fruit. In the word parigitam, the word pari means that even indistinct and incomplete chanting of the holy name can give liberation. Parityarthe ardhe avyakta asampurnam uccaritam apithya artha. Api is, parigitam, api, that is the meaning here. So just Krishna, if you chant, Haram, and it is Haram, Haram, oh my Lord Ram. So that can give liberation. So this is the glory of the holy name. It is one. It's simply inconceivable to our human brain. How, this can happen. But this is the Shastric quotation. And Vishwanath Chakravarti is making a stronger and stronger and heavier statement that bhakti doesn't depend on karma, gyan, yoga. Bhakti doesn't depend on time, place, circumstances. And bhakti doesn't depend on faith. Without faith, if you chant, give liberation. And the classic example is Ajamil. He got the secondary fruit of liberation, Namabhas chanting. And later on, by hearing the conversation between the Yamdutas and the Vishnudutas, he attained the Sambandha Gyan, he practiced the Abhiday and attained Prema for the Lord and attainment to Vaikuntha. So that's the point. Okay. So any questions on this up till now, what we have discussed? Any questions, any clarifications? Vinita Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji,
Yes.
so can we just a small understanding? So when we have so much knowledge, now no Jnana Yoga, no Bhakti Karma Yoga, no faith, so is it necessary that we quit all the um, wrong, this like envy, greed, and all? That should not be there. Those impurities and contaminations definitely should not be there. Is it anything relation to that?
No, I'm not clear what exactly is the question. Can you?
Means like you don't have faith, like Ajamil example you gave, right?
No. You don't have faith like Ajamil. No. I did not say. Ajamil chanted the name of Narayan,
Without faith.
without faith. He did not have faith that this name is actually Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha and I'm calling him. He chanted Narayan calling his son,
Okay.
whose name was also Narayan. But that name was borrowed. It is actually the original name of Lord Narayan, who he had named. So we called him for help, but Vishnu Dutas came for help. So it was not chanted with faith. That's the point. So without faith, also, if you chant, it can give results up to liberation. That's the point. You know, that is the secondary result that too. So this is how bhakti can, manifest even if there is no faith. That's the point being established there.
But Prabhuji, faith is, I think, the first step, Shraddha, no?
Yeah, yeah. So now ultimately, that is why, what is that verse saying, Mriyamano api Hare Nama, one second. Yeah, I got your point now.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I got the point. So, yes, I got the verse here. So, I'm sharing the screen. म्रियमाणो हरेर्नाम घृणन् पुत्रपचारितम् अजामिलो अगाधाम किम उत श्रद्धया गृणन्. At the time of death, Mriyamano, he took the name of the holy name. Grannan means he chanted. But Putra Upacharitam, indicating his son, that is Sanket. He chanted the Sanket. Ajamilapi Agadhamai. He attained the spiritual world. Kim Uta, what to speak? Shraddhaya Granan. So he took the name Granan without faith. But ultimately, we have to take with faith and love the name to attain the Lord. So this verse is misunderstood. So this is called as Kamitikinai. Without faith, you took the name, not directly of Narayan, but your son's name, and you got the result of. Then what with faith, if you take, what will be the result? So this, this is given for us to understand that we have to ultimately chant the holy name with faith, with devotion and with love, ultimately to attain fruit of prema. But this is the glory of bhakti, that it doesn't even depend on, faith. And ultimately later on, one has to, take up to the chanting with faith, and then with the Sambandha Gyan, and then practice the Abhiday perfectly and attain the goal Prayojan. But it doesn't depend on it. Bhakti is completely Swarat and independent. That's the point. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, usually we see कि only by performing karma kand we get some result, whatever we want, we can get. So like even so, why it is said कि like only by performing karma we cannot attain swarga. We need to have bhakti. Without bhakti we cannot attain swarga.
So this is a fundamental discussion we have been having, that karma cannot give the results of its fruits in the form of Swarga, because there has to be a bhakti element in it. There is an element of bhakti in it. And bhakti plays a secondary role there. Because you have this goal, you're not having faith in bhakti, but still bhakti element is there. And because of that bhakti element only, he gets the result of Swarga. It's not the karma which is giving the result of Swarga. That's why even when you're performing any sacrifices to, like the Agni Stoma Yagya and all, ultimately you are chanting Om Indraya Swaha, but that Om is addressing the absolute truth, because Om is also the name of the absolute truth. Indirectly, there is a bhakti element he is performing. So that bhakti element which is there indirectly in his practice of karma, that gives him the result of Swarga. It is not the karma. This you have to understand. Is it clear?
Yes, Ruji. Means I was just thinking ki like karma kand, like whatever result we want, like for Hiranyakashipu he performed tapasya and he got whatever result he wanted. So there was no bhakti in him. Like I was thinking like that.
Yes, but he was chanting,
Mm-hmm.
Om Brahma Devaya Namah, Om, that is it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ultimately,
got it. Got it. Indirectly, like we are
directly,
not. Yeah, it's for the supreme person.
that's why it is called as Avidi Purvakam.
Mm-hmm. Got it, Ruji. Thank you.
That Shraddha, faith in the Devata is also bestowed by the Lord. And the result also which the Devatas are bestowing, it's not the Devatas who are giving that results. It's the Lord only who is giving the result, who is seated in the form of Paramatma in their heart. This is all fundamental in the Bhagavad Gita also. One more hand was raised. Somebody else also wanted to ask. Yes, dear Krishnoji.
Hare Krishna, bro. One two clarification, bro. With regard to this Jnani and Yogi, Prabhu, when they do their, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Jnana sadhana with element of bhakti or Yoga sadhana with element of bhakti. So, Prabhu, when at their perfection, they have to leave their Jnana sadhana in case of Jnani. And so do they continue bhakti or they leave bhakti also at perfection?
Oh, see, they use bhakti as a means to attain liberation.
Yeah.
So in the end, like the Jnani practices all the angas of Gyan, and there is also one element of bhakti, which is, and ultimately he has to give up that Gyan because it is sattva.
Yes.
I think material cannot give spiritual, So if he doesn't give up that, then he still doesn't attain the result. So he'll have to give up that, and by the bhakti element which is present in that, then by that bhakti he attains that liberation. Bhakti Devi main
Right.
bhakti. Similar, the yogi at the end, he has to absorb himself in chanting and hearing, or in meditating on the Lord's form, which is ang of smaranam, and then by that bhakti alone practice with giving up his jnana or yoga, he attains liberation.
And Prabhu, once in case of yogi, once they achieve the, it was mentioned that they achieve param gati. So param gati refers to what they achieve Vaikuntha or how it
It
is?
depends. It depends on whether he's a Ashtanga yogi who is practicing Ashtanga, and bhakti is Guni Bhutam. Then he attains liberation. If he's a Yoga Mishra Bhakta, then he can attain Shantagati, like that. It depends. It depends on their predominance. If it is Pradhani Bhuta, then the result is different. Like that.
Right. And Prabhu, we said, it is universal truth that bhakti is completely independent in Swarat. It doesn't require any, time, place, circumstance, nothing matters for bhakti. So, Prabhu, when we say that, mode of goodness is favorable for bhakti, and we should try to be mode of goodness. So, practice word ashram, this, that. So, once we say it is completely independent, then why we are talking these all things?
Bhakti is transcendental. Bhakti can manifest anywhere. Bhakti, it's not that only it is in Bharat Varsha. Bhakti can manifest in America, it can manifest in Antarctica, anywhere, in hell, anywhere. But the Bhakta might be in the modes. And he has to, in order to, transcend the modes, he has to basically see that, he doesn't get affected by the modes, so he might see a suitable place, like, instead of chanting out in the street, he can go inside in the temple and chant, so that he can chant attentively. There the question of aparadhas, so that he can chant attentively, that is there. So for that purpose, he might do certain things, but as such, for bhakti to manifest, it doesn't depend on time, place, circumstances. That is a point
So we
being
can
made.
so we can say that mode of goodness, it is suitable for perfection of our sadhana.
For sadhana purpose, yes. We are speaking about manifestation of bhakti. It doesn't depend on
Right.
time, circumstances. It can manifest even in an animal. And there are examples in the Shastra, how a dog,
Yes.
just because it caught a bird and it did pradakshina of the Vishnu temple. It was, in its mouth it died, and that bird, because of performing this Anga Bhakti, not consciously, unconsciously, and that too first, because the dog was carrying it, it got liberation. It got a Chaturbuj form and went back to the spiritual world. And we hear that mouse, right? It came to eat the vac. Damodar Ashtakam, we discussed the glories of Damodar Kartik Man. It came, he thought it is food. He tried to eat it and it got burnt and it died. In the next birth, this mouse or rat got the birth of a queen. And this queen was very much inclined to only offer lambs to the Lord. And she perfected her life and attained the Lord. So that is the potency of bhakti.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so now the next themes are very, very simple. And after establishing all this, now he clarifies some other points, minor details, which in one class, I think we should be able to finish. And then that completes the first chapter. Then we'll go to the next chapter. The next chapter is very, very interesting. So hold on. Shri Madhurya Kadambini ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur Pad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.